Sometime in the fall of 1995, Jim approached me with a videotape that he wanted to show me of some effects that he had been working on with a friend of his, Jeff Link, in preparation for an amateur video that they were thinking of making. He showed me some of the effects, and I remember commenting to him at that time that they looked like some of the effects from the 1960s Star Trek show. At his birthday in December, I bought him a videotape of the original series episode Arena. And I think those two things kind of got Jim thinking along the lines of maybe doing a video production that had something to do with Star Trek.
I said, hey, we should work on a Star Trek movie. And Josh thought that was a really cool idea, and I think then I said, yeah, and let's have an Andorian in it. And Josh was like, yeah, we can have an Andorian as one of the crew members. And then we decided that we wanted to have some Klingons in it too.
So we spent a period of 2 or 3 days, I don't remember exactly how much it was, but we locked ourselves in the office at my in my dad's house, and just sat there and talked about different ideas, and eventually came up with the script. And so we wrote script summaries for a number of other ideas for script stories.
And we had most of the main characters already in mind. We had Captain Garabik and Lieutenant Bafuzlek the Andorian and Mr. Cuddy the security chief, and I think we even had the idea for Commander Harris at that time, although she wasn't included in the early draft of the script. The script for the Savage Empire, we had an early version of that done that first Christmas when we decided to do it. And even though we fleshed out some other scripts entertaining the possibility of doing a different episode, that was really the first one that we put together.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the thing is that we had always planned on doing the Savage Empire first, but because it involved so many outdoor locations, we figured it would be relatively simple to do.
We wouldn't have to build as many sets.
Yeah, well, and when we first started thinking of that one, I remember we talked about like going to some businesses or going to schools and filming some of the Trilith Brotherhood areas in some kind of a pre-existing thing, and doing something that would have been not as good. But we always thought about doing that one first. It's just, I think our original idea was to do that one and to whip it out in a couple of months, and then to go on and try to do like 4 or 5 other ones.
Yeah.
But once we realized we wanted the quality of really trying to reproduce the look and feel of the 1960s thing, and we figured out that, hey, we could actually possibly do this, then we jettisoned the idea of trying to do multiple episodes, and it became clear that we were probably going to be able to do just this one.
After we produced this script at my parents' house over that Christmas, we decided that we were at a point where we had researched some of the special effects and stuff, and we thought we could really make an attempt to pull this off up to the standards of 1960s production.
But then as we started doing some of the pre-production on this thing, and we started to see, we started looking into the costumes that they had at Paramount, and we saw how really tacky looking they were and how terrible they looked, the store-bought costume. And we thought, man, maybe it wouldn't be that hard just to buy some material and figure out how to make the costumes. And then once we started looking into that, then we started thinking, well, maybe rather than, by using the Savage Empire, we'll have some outdoor locations and we can do that, but maybe for some of the indoor locations, we could actually think about renting a studio and building sets. And
so we started collecting some props and looking for patterns and costuming materials. And in the meantime, I was trying to learn how to use a sewing machine and starting to put together some costumes and stuff like that.
To me, it was like this evolution that took place where we started off with one idea, and by the time we got to June of '96, by that point in time, it had already turned into the beginnings of what we ended up doing, where we rented a studio, we built the sets, we made the costumes, and we were going to go for the 1960s
production.